Hey guys, welcome to another TFL Today show, and today we're back at X and Allies, and we're not working on that Jaguar. Of course, today is all about the big green, our 1985 Chevy K10, and today is all about fuel injection. And so let me show you, I'm going to show you around. Ted is really busy today. He's got a lot of projects going on. He doesn't work on trucks every day. He works on British and French cars, and but he's our buddy, he's our friend, and he's helping us along throughout our big green project truck. He's the one who did the engine swap, so we worked together on that project as well. And let me show you what's under the hood if you are joining us for the first time. This is a 1985 Chevy K10. It's a 4x4, basically a half-ton truck. And originally it came with a 305 cubic inch V8, but it's no longer a 305. We got a carbureted ZZ6 350 cubic inch engine from Chevy Performance. And it came as a turnkey application with all the accessories, had the alternator, the compressor, all the fuel pumps, mounting brackets, and the carburetor, and the air cleaner. And we've had about 1,000 miles on the truck already. And is this Ted? Hey, he's sneaking up on me.
I was just providing a little cool background scene.
Yes, and this is what are you holding, Ted?
This is the command center.
Yes, this is a new fuel delivery system, and we're at high altitude, and we go from about 1 mile above sea level to about 2 miles above sea level. And Roman and I decided, originally we really wanted carbureted engine.
Yeah, because it's what we all understand.
It's cool. It matched the character of the truck, and we were really excited. But then Roman got stuck on Goldmine Hill going uphill, and then it didn't perform very well at 2 miles above sea level in the Rocky Mountains. So a lot of you also recommended fuel injection, throttle body fuel injection. So we actually got together with our friends at Summit Racing. They sent the FightTech command center fuel delivery system and a throttle body fuel injection, and this is the big boy. That's the new pump, basically.
Yeah, it really is cool. Steps up the pressure, gives you an inlet and an outlet. Vents to the tank. It really is
all
a pretty
metal.
techy.
I mean, it's really well made.
It's right now. If I were James Bond and I were trying to defuse this thing, I would just in time, and it would like read 007 on it, and everybody'd breathe a sigh of relief.
Okay,
yeah.
So
cool.
Come in here. So we're in the middle of this project already, and we're gonna mount the command center fuel delivery on this inner fender, and actually it's gonna look really nice. It'll dress up the engine bay a little bit more.
A lot.
Because it's really shiny and really cool.
Raccoons love this.
Yes. Yeah. And Ted, did you notice this? We have air conditioning now.
I did notice that because I'm really hot, and so the air conditioning totally made my radar. That's awesome that you guys got that done.
So we're very excited. This ZZ6 motor, as it was with carburation, was rated at 405 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque. And obviously we're at high elevation, about a mile above sea level, and about 17% less air density here.
Hey Andre, we got a question from Joseph. He's asking how long this install is going to take.
Ted tells me he never gives time estimates. Is that right,
Yeah,
Ted?
and Joseph, you're not my friend.
We're not going to live stream the entire install. We're giving you guys an update. We usually do our shows Monday, Wednesday, Friday at about 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So any more comments or questions coming in so far?
A lot of people are saying hello, so hello guys, thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching. We have Michael Curtis behind the camera today. He's working with us over the summer, so we really appreciate all the help we get. And of course, a lot of companies have been involved in this build. We're talking about Chevrolet, Chevy Performance, Summit Racing, FightTech, MagnaFlow for the exhaust system. We've been very, very fortunate that we have so much support and help.
And they have sent a lot of cool stuff.
Yes.
I mean, every kit, it sounds like a shameless plug, but it really, the stuff that you've been getting sent is
and
fun
if
to
you're
work
asking about how long it will take, come over. I'll show you the directions and some of the other parts while you work here, okay?
with. Somebody might as well see the directions because it's not going to be us.
And this is X and Allies. This is Ted's shop in Denver, Colorado, and he works on a lot of classic cars, and it's really awesome. So here's the FightTech system we got from Summit Racing, and it has the command center pump you already saw. Comes with everything, including the fuel line and the fuel filter and a lot of different fittings. So all the parts are here. The instructions are fairly clear, and my favorite part, there is a red font. Important, do not skip this. And basically this red part has to do with venting the command center delivery system properly. Obviously it collects fuel, it's like a buffer for fuel before, so it gets normal pressure from the fuel tank using the old stock fuel pump. Then it has a reservoir, small reservoir, and it has a high pressure fuel pump that then delivers the fuel to the throttle body injection system. But it has to vent. And you have to, actually we got lucky, we already have a vent pipe that goes directly to the fuel tank, which is great, which is what is required for this system. But let me show you the throttle body real quick. This is a little bit more complicated, but this is the unit itself. I mean, look at the quality. I mean, it's really fairly hefty. It's well made. It's got all the harnesses, obviously. It looks like a carburetor, but this is basically a throttle body injection system.
And Andre, what does the side of it say? Look at that.
Go EFI. It can support up to 600 horsepower. So if we wanted to, we could step it up. But 405 horsepower as it is in this truck make the truck so lively and so quick. But one issue is a manual transmission, and the issue is it's just a little bit difficult to shift because the throws are so long, and it's actually a heavy-duty transmission that Chevrolet used in other heavy-duty trucks and some dump trucks as well. So if you can actually figure out and get some practice and really bang out the gears, this is an awesome truck.
Matt Lopez is asking why we're using such a complicated fuel system. Do you want to go ahead and explain again why we're switching to throttle body fuel injection?
Sure. So carburation, right? So the carburetor that was delivered here with the engine was basically set up and jetted for sea level, and that's fine. We're at a mile above sea level, so an option would be to rejet the carburetor, deliver a little bit less fuel because there's less air and oxygen here at this elevation. So you want to match the fuel to air ratio, right? And that's when the engines run at their best. And we can actually tune the carburetor, and Ted knows everything about carburetors. But we often go into off-road situations high in the Rocky Mountains, and we're talking over 2 miles above sea level, 11,000 feet and above. Sometimes we go to like Montezuma trails are about 12,000 feet above sea level. And a carburetor that would work well here would again struggle up there. So of course you can readjust, you can play with the floats and everything else, but we also wanted to do hard inclines and declines and really get the fuel injection system and have it's self-learning, so it would be easier for us as a driver to kind of not worry about it and actually have a little bit more efficiency, because right now we're running rich. It's dumping a lot more fuel into the engine, and you can actually sometimes see a little bit of black smoke coming out of the exhaust pipes, which is basically unburned fuel. We don't want that. We want the truck a little bit more efficient, a little bit more clean. And Ted just dropped something, so I'm a little worried, but it's okay.
Now, Andre, Brendan, I believe it was, asked a really interesting question, and Ted, maybe you can help us answer this. Is this the easiest way we could have done a fuel injection system that would kind of adjust to elevation, or are there other ways we could have gone about doing this?
Well, FightTech, I mean, they've built their reputation on this. So, and with all the instructions, and let me show you. I mean, actually, a do-it-yourself person can follow this and can complete this job. Obviously, it's nice to have a master mechanic like Ted helping us out. But for example, we're working off of this diagram, and there's also a controller that you can monitor things with. Handheld controller you can mount inside the cab. But it talks about the distributor, the fan, the fuel delivery system, the throttle body itself, and It sounds complicated, but actually at the end of the day, if you break it down, you install your oxygen sensor, you install your coolant sensor, and you connect everything. And that's what we're hoping. I've never done this before either, so it should be a fairly straightforward job. It'll probably take an entire day, just because we need to learn a few things around. But let's see what Ted is doing.
And Ride Time is asking if there's any computer controlling involved with this system.
What you had behind you? Well, yes, there is a controller that can adjust, but you can leave it alone. It can be hands off. Let's just see. Yeah, let's just see how Ted is doing. Oh, look at that! So you're installing the mounting brackets, and
Yeah.
we're mounting it to the inner fender.
Yeah, that way it's the second thing you see when you open the hood.
That's really awesome. So we have obviously the air cleaner with a Chevrolet label, and it's kind of in your face. I really like that.
Craig is asking how high up we can go with the new throttle body system.
I think we can go as high as we want.
Elevation?
Yeah.
I mean, as long as there's oxygen, I guess, I don't know. It's probably engine specific.
So the highest
Yeah.
we can go really is Mount Evans Road. It's
Pikes Peak is the highest paved road in the country, right?
Well, no. Actually, here's the thing. So Pikes Peak Hill Climb is actually happening next week, and it's it's near Colorado Springs. Pikes Peak, I think, is a few feet lower as far as the pavement is concerned than Mount Evans. And Mount Evans, you can drive up. It's just equal to 14,000 feet above sea level, and a lot of manufacturers, brand new cars manufacturers, test their vehicles up there. So this truck can do it, and we can actually try that ourselves and show you guys us going to extreme elevation. Of course, if you're in South America, you can keep driving in some of those mountains even higher, but that's not where we are.
Yeah, guys, part of the beauty of this system is when you have fuel injection that can adjust the mixture pretty much to whatever oxygen level
Yeah,
it's sensing.
self-adjust.
Yeah,
Yes.
so when you go up higher in elevation and it senses that there's less oxygen being fed to the engine, the controller will understand that and put less fuel in so you're not running too rich.
Yeah.
Whereas a carburetor, you kind of have to keep it stuck at one constant
setting
mixture.
and keep playing with it
Yeah.
if you want to adjust it.
So when you go up in elevation, you start to run really, really rich, and the engine will start to bog down, like you might have seen in our video that Roman did.
Yes, and we do want to do a lot of fun videos with this. Mr. Truck, you probably seen him on TFL Truck channel as well. We do a lot of towing tests together, and Mr. Truck just recently purchased a 1994 Dodge Ram 1500. He calls it Dodgezilla Overkill. He completely rebuilt his automatic transmission. He's playing. He has a 318 cubic inch V8, and he's challenged us. He wants to drag race us, do an acceleration test against Big Green, and also Tommy's F250 Highboy, we call Rusty Boy, and he wants to go off-roading and challenge us there as well. And with fuel injection, I'm fairly confident that we can take anything that Mr. Truck throws at us. Even though he has a high-tech transmission and we have a manual here, I think we have a good chance of beating him in acceleration runs and also maybe off-roading as well. We'll see.
So, Andre, we have a couple people asking, and I'm not sure if we can really answer this. They're wondering if we're going to do any coverage of Pikes Peak.
We really want to cover the Fen Fest. In previous years, we did full coverage from interviews before the race to interviews on Thursday after the qualifying to the Fen Fest to the actual race itself, and it took a lot of our resources, and we like to follow a certain team. And this year, actually Paul Gerard, our professional race car driver that works with us, he's racing one of the cars that another company brought, and it's an unlimited racer car with over 1,000 horsepower, and it's a completely custom built race car. So we want to see him there, and we're gonna see them in Colorado Springs on Friday, and maybe Michael, if you want, Michael Curtis here, he'll be also covering the race on Sunday, and I've covered that race. You have to get up about 2 a.m. You have to drive to the gate, get there by about 3:30 or 4 if you want to go to the finish line at the top of the mountain, and then you hang out at the top of the mountain for about 12 hours. So it's very demanding, but it's a lot of fun. Last time I was there was 2 years ago. It snowed on us during the race, so
Wow.
that's a lot of fun.
Guys, we got a couple more interesting questions here, and Ted, you might have to help out with this. E-Rock is wondering if we're going to see any significant fuel economy increases from the fuel injection system.
That'll be interesting. I have to imagine some, but the degree of difference will depend on how excellent the existing carburetor is. You know, the theoretically perfect carburetor is not really much worse than excellent fuel injection. It's just that the theoretically perfect carburetor is like the unicorn. So we'll see.
And then another question is, will there be any increase or difference in maintenance on a fuel injection system?
Should be less.
Should be less
That's
maintenance.
part of the joy of it. It's supposed to be less.
But right now, Roman measured about between 8 and 9 mpg on the highway because he took that from Denver to Grand Junction and back, and that's kind of a demanding route because you have to climb a couple of major mountain passes, and that's not great fuel economy by any means. So if we can get to 10 or above 10 with this system, we'll measure that and we'll let you guys know. But we're hoping it's going to be a little bit more. We love all the questions that you guys have and your participation.
Yeah, please feel free to keep asking us questions, guys.
Yeah.
Except the question I don't want to hear is why did Ted do such a crummy job drilling the holes?
Someone's commenting on your glove as well, Ted.
Oh yeah.
Other glove.
You know, it's
No,
getting
there-
a little
there-
past its sell by date. Yeah. I'll get another one and then I'll look like Diana Rigg.
We love working with Ted. I have a lot of fun doing this, and oh, I have another project today. Let me show you in here. There's an old engine block heater, as well as the charcoal filter that the old 305 V8 was using in here, and we're no longer using these. Right now, we're not using a block heater, and there's a lot of wires here. And these are all the for the old emissions system, and it looks really ugly. And my other job for today is to remove the charcoal filter and kind of disconnect and remove this wire for now. We'll keep it in case, you know, for the winter time. But I want to kind of clean up the engine bay. It's a little dirty, oily, so I'll remove the charcoal filter, clean up a little bit of the oil that was left over from the old engine, and to make it look even better. Because right now this engine bay is looking better and better every day.
It does. Every little new nugget that goes on it does dress it up a lot.
Yeah.
We were asked what kind of fuel pump we're using. Should we show them the fuel pump again?
Yeah, this is a Tech Command Center. That's what it's called. And this is gigantic thing right here. And it's basically a tiny buffer it's like a tiny reservoir, and it steps up the fuel pressure from the stock fuel pump.
So it is in itself a pump, but the stock mechanical fuel pump delivers
It's still
fuel
there.
to it. And then this pumps from that and steps up the pressure to be appropriate for the throttle body. Did that sound smart?
Yeah, it's right on. And I don't know if you can get the camera in here, but down here is the stock fuel pump right there, and we'll take the output of that, put it into the input on this, which is
The right.
here. In, that's in, and then out will go to the throttle body that we'll put under here. Right now the Holley carburetor is still there, so we'll take this off, put the throttle body on, connect the lines, also make sure we vent properly because that was the critical part of the instructions. And then we'll have to do some tuning. We'll also have to connect the wiring harnesses because Ted is already has tapped the exhaust system for the oxygen sensor, and we have a coolant sensor, and we have to get power to the pump. Obviously we have to power it and connect a few wires and obviously follow the instructions because there are a few steps to be taken, and go from there.
Thomas is asking what other upgrades we have planned for Big Green, if any.
We need to work a little bit on the braking system. Make sure the braking system works great, because we already checked the brake fluid and replaced the brake fluid, but there's a little bit, it pulls to the right a little bit right now under heavy braking, so we need to adjust the brake system. Also suspension. This has a 4-inch lift, but it's a very simple lift with blocks, and the truck rides like a bucking bronco. It's really rough riding on pavement, and obviously on a lot of the off-road areas as well. So we don't have an exact plan of what we want to do with the suspension, but we do want to address those things. So if you have some ideas or comments, let us know. We're still going to keep the stock transmission and transfer case. Obviously our budget is pretty small, so we cannot do a lot to upgrade all the components, but we do want to address the suspension and some of the braking systems. Oh, and Roman wants to reupholster the interior, so let me show you real quick.
Yeah, and someone just asked if it was a 3-speed or 4-speed. It's a 4-speed
With a granny low gear.
with a granny low gear. And they also asked if we plan on replacing the transmission with one that has an overdrive.
I don't remember exactly what the gear ratios are, but this is the gigantic throw shifter. It has a granny low gear, and then it says 1, 2, 3. And we basically use, on a daily drive, we basically started in second gear, which is labeled 1. The reverse is also there. But this seat, this stock seat, is a little bit rough, and we have this cover on it. And we want to do like a custom upholstery here with big green emblem. So it's going to be really fun. So those are kind of upcoming updates to the truck. But before we do all the upgrades, I really want to take it out on the off-road area and go up against Mr. Truck, go up against Tommy's Ford, and actually get some action with these trucks, because we've been working quite a lot. We need the payoff. We need to see how they run. Okay, yeah, so Ted, what are you up to now?
Actually, so I was just kind of having a look to see, now that we have the command center in, there's various, we have options on how to configure the inlet ports for the throttle body.
Okay.
And so I was just looking to see what's
Exactly
going to
where
work
to
out
connect.
best with how it's oriented.
And obviously we still need to do like the fuel filter, all the lines.
Absolutely, yes.
And all the fittings.
Oh
so-
yeah, there's lots of fun to be had.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was just scoping that out, but this is going really well. I've looked into fuel injecting my
Knock
own
on
cars.
wood?
Oh, absolutely. That's why I keep that board there.
Okay, knock on wood.
That big divot is from all the times of knocking on the wood. Yeah, no, it's going great. I looked into fuel injecting my own car, and I just folded.
Okay.
But if I had this kit,
Hell yeah.
if they made this for my car, I'd be
Wait,
doing it
you
later.
can get a
today.
Chevy V8, put it into your car, put this in, boom, boom, done. Okay.
You're right. I'll do
Okay.
that.
All right, guys, we really appreciate you joining us, and we'll publish a produced video about how this all came together, and including the payoff, and including doing more, drag racing and going off-road with Mr. Truck and Tommy and Rowan and Nathan and everybody else. So thanks for joining us. Join us 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, around 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, and really appreciate you joining. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.